Well, I've gotten a few things done in the garden this week. Not a lot because it has been pretty hot. But so I'm really limited to coming out first thing in the morning, which I hate because I really like to sleep late. But I come out first thing in the morning, I water, did a little bit of weeding, pruning, and then I finish up in the evenings. So majority of the day is spent inside. It's already that hot here. We'll start with the strawberries. Um, I did a review on this. This is a grow stalk, green stalk, excuse me, and I'm fairly happy with it. The one thing I would say is if you have small starter plants, you'll need to water them individually just to get them started, and then the watering seems to work very well. My cantaloupe over here is getting quite a few. I've already put some in a little netted bag, and the vine will hold these very well. The thing with cantaloupe is if you're growing them vertically, once they ripen, excuse me, they drop off the vine. And if you're growing them vertical, then they're going to fall down and bust. Now this one over here, unfortunately, the little hanging vine is a little bit damaged on it. So I'm going to have to go ahead and put that in a net pretty soon. I hope it does okay. And then I have another one over here. And we'll see if I get any more. I haven't noticed any, but I do see quite a few female flowers. So hopefully I'll get at least a couple more. Ooh, and look here. Here's some powdered mildew, which is no big deal. It's just a little bit. So I can treat that tonight. You can treat it with baking soda or milk. I think milk is like 40% milk, and then the rest water, and spray it on there. Or you can use like 4 tablespoons of baking soda in a gallon of water and spray it. Also works. My mullein is starting to flower, but it's not as tall as I thought it would be. So we'll see. But it's starting to get a flower, although it'll grow quite a bit before that flower comes out more. My echinacea in valerian is really doing well. The sunflower, which is shading my my little lavender. This lavender now I'm hoping to keep it here, so I may have to get rid of the sunflower sooner than I wanted. Over here is where I had those ground cherries, and I decided to get rid of them for several reasons. One is they were completely taken over the bed, and I was constantly having to trim them back. They were growing into my cucumbers. They were growing over here into this. They were shading my my sweet basil and my dill. So I went ahead, and another reason was I couldn't get back here very easily. Most of them were dropping to the ground, and it was horrible with ants. Ants love ground cherries. So although I really like them, I'm not going to be able, and this is the thing with tiny gardens, you have to make your choices. So I'm not going to be able to grow ground cherries in my beds. I'm going to have to basically grow them in pots, which is okay. So I went to Home Depot and Lowe's and couldn't really find anything I liked. I figured it was too kind of getting late here to be planting seeds, but since I couldn't find anything, I just put some zinnias and marigolds in here to fill up the space. So we'll see how they do. Now this, I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to have to wait and find out what it gives me, because it was supposed to be a gherkin cucamelon. I planted 3 gherkin cucamelons, and as you can see, that's not one. This zinnia is doing really well. I thought it was a candy cane zinnia, but apparently it's not. But it's very pretty. My husband's pepper, he's all excited because he's actually got peppers on it back here in the shade. This was more of an experiment, and he took it over. And of course here I've got some holy basil and cinnamon basil. And then another marigold. This is the rest of my strawberries, which I had some of my strawberries did die. I think I have like 6 I'm going to have to transplant. It's just too hot now to do it. The bees are loving my oregano. I wanted to trim it back, but I've decided to wait because they are really enjoying it, along with the thyme, which needs to be trimmed again, but I've decided to wait. Now my catnip, I went ahead and harvested it. I have it drying in the garage. Sage is getting ready to harvest pretty soon, and the catnip, I'll have another. It was in bloom, and I like to harvest catnip in full bloom. And since it was in full bloom, I went ahead and harvested it. But I will get another harvest out of it this year. But next year, I'm going to start a couple in pots. And I really like growing them in like the gallon grow pots, because then I can move the grow pots around in the beds and help with a little bit of insect control. So we'll see. And then I've got 2 cantaloupe here and 2 cucumber, and we've already been harvesting some cucumbers off of this. Not many. They're not really doing that well this year, and they have been getting plenty of water and plenty of fertilizer at this point, so I'm not really sure. This was a scarlet zinnia, and then this over here is a candy cane zinnia along with the scarlet. The peppers are doing better, as you'll see, in pots. They were all planted about the same time than they are doing in the beds. Now this here gets a lot of morning sun, but after that it's pretty well shaded. So that could be part of it. I'm not sure, but peppers like to hold hands. So they like to be in tight spaces. And I have found that they really grow better in pots. So from now on, I'm not even going to try growing them out here in the beds anymore. I'm just going to do the pots. Last night I harvested some of the Malabar spinach and cooked it up, and it was really good. You cook it probably about, I'd say, if you're cooking frozen spinach, regular frozen spinach you buy at the grocery store or even fresh spinach you buy at the grocery store, versus this Malabar spinach, you're probably going to want to cook this about 7 minutes more. Now I just did it, kind of a steam method, and I steamed it for, I think it was like 12 minutes, and it came out a little bit crunchy, which is the way I like it. And I really like it better than spinach because it doesn't go as limp, but it does have the same flavor. So I think this is a very good alternative than like your Bloomsdale spinach. And it's just as nutritional. But to me, because it does hold up better in cooking, it doesn't get as wilty. So I actually do like it better. This was my first year growing it, so it is definitely a keeper. My dandelions, I was out of dandelion tea, so I went ahead and harvested some. This is definitely not going to be enough. One of the ways that I decide what I want to grow in a garden is cost versus availability. Now, dandelion tea is very easy to find. You can buy it on Amazon, several different websites, and you can get organic. But I found when it comes to your teas and it comes to your herbs, those are the most expensive items to buy at the grocery store or buy online or what have you. So really, to cut costs down, those are some of my priorities. Dandelion being one of them. I'm going to have to allocate more space to it because I actually like this better than the stuff I buy at the store. Number one is I'm doing it myself. I know 100%, even though I do buy USDA certified organic, I know for sure that this is organic. And I roast it to my specifications, which I roast it for 45 minutes. And then I cut it and I grind it in a coffee grinder. So it's real fine. So I actually have to use less of it. But I just like the flavor better than what I can buy at the store. So I'm going to allocate probably this whole bed next year to dandelions. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I buy 3 packs of the tea, and I think there's like 12 in a pack, but however, the tea is so little, the tea bags, you have to use 2 tea bags, and it cost me like $24 on Amazon. So if I grew this whole bed full of it, that may at least give me 6 months worth. We'll see. I only have 1 cup a day of dandelion tea, but I have to have that cup a day. And if you do drink dandelion tea, you only want to drink it in the mornings. Do not drink it at night because you will spend half your night going to the bathroom. It is a diuretic, so it does flush all the fluids out of your body. Well, it doesn't flush them out. It sends them all to your it cleans out your kidneys and your bladder really well. So You want to drink a lot of liquids as well. I try to stay on drinking 64 ounces of water a day. And then I also have 2 cups of tea a day. One is dandelion, and then at night it's usually either chamomile with lemon balm or chamomile with passion flower, providing I have it. Passion flower is another one that's expensive to buy. Most of the herbs that I buy at Rose Mountain Herbs. I really like them because, number one, they're all organic, and number two, it's they're fair trade, they're ethically sourced. So some of the more endangered herbs I really like to buy there because I know they're being sourced correctly. And then other ones I buy there too just because I feel confident in it. It's a company out of Oregon or Washington, but I really like it. So, and now I'm not affiliated with them. I don't have a link to them. You can just look it up. These are sugar baby watermelons. These seeds are very old. And I went back and looked, and these seeds are over 7 years old. So what I did is I did plant 4 seeds in each one, hoping I could get 2. And most of them I did get 2, except for this one I only got 1, but that's okay. So I've got 7 plants here. I went ahead and had to net my tomatoes, and I've already actually harvested some tomatoes off of this. I've got all kinds of peppers on here. This is cayenne pepper, and it's really got a lot of them. So they're little still, but they'll be nice. This is just bell peppers, and I also have quite a few bell peppers. It's almost time to move these into the shade because I don't want them to burn. And this is what I bought. This was an impulse buy at Home Depot, and it's called an Orange Select, and it's a sweet pepper, so we'll see. These are habaneros, which apparently they're supposed to taste like a habanero, but they're sweet. And I've got some peppers on them. You see here. And I don't know if you can see this or not because it's so bright out here. I really can't see what I'm filming. I'm doing this with my camera, so or with my phone, excuse me. And this is another one. Then these are the teddy bear sunflowers. Some of them are getting ready to bloom. This is my onions. Peppermint. This is skullcap. And these are getting big enough, and I did this already with my lemon balm. I keep picking them off, the top, so they branch out better. And now it's large enough that I can actually dry what I pick off. It's worth it to go ahead and dry it and use it in tea. This is another holy basil. My stevia. And this is a ground cherry that I have growing in the pot. And I think the yellowing of the leaves is because it did get a lot of rain. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened to it. So I haven't watered it at all, except I did fertilize it. And then this is all my my deal. And then lemon balm, same thing. I've been picking it off as I pick them off. I'm going ahead and drying it because I'm completely out of lemon balm and I don't want to buy any. So I'll have enough until once I see flowers forming on it. Unlike the catnip is better with the flowers on it when you harvest it. This I try to harvest before it flowers. It has a better flavor to it. So once I see the first flowers coming in, I will actually chop it down all the way to the ground just about, and it'll come back. So this is a first year plant, so I'll get 2 or 3 good years out of it before I have to worry about replacing it. So that's about it for my tiny garden. I hope in the next day or 2 to do one on insect control. Tonight I will be out here spraying neem oil, but we'll talk about insect control probably Wednesday or Thursday. So thank you for finding me. If you like this video, please subscribe and a thumbs up. Appreciate you. Bye for now.